name is Chance, and today I will be showcasing how to create a new interaction using my modular interaction system. Um, this is the showcase will be applicable to whether you're adding a brand new interaction onto an object that's never been interactable before, or if you're adding a new interaction onto an object that already has a number of different interactables. It applies both ways. So let's go ahead and get started. This is just the blank first person template map. All I've added to it is I've imported the interact system, um, and I have added onto the first person character the interaction system component. Otherwise, everything else in here is found in my examples folder in the interaction system, and you should have everything in front of you just the way it is as soon as you download the project from GitHub. So what we're going to do as an example is we're going to add the ability to unlock doors if you are standing on the inside of them. So if you're on the back side of the door. So for an example of what we have right now, I currently have a door where I can kick it if I'm on the outside of it. So if I'm standing in front of the door, if I'm behind it, I cannot kick it. I can only try lock picking it because it's locked. Um, and of course, say I finish lock picking or kicking down a door, now I can open or close it. The lock was broken, so I can only kick it. But let's say I want to relock this door, or I want to be able to unlock it and not have to lock pick it. What we're going to do is we will go into the gameplay tags to start out, and you will add a new tag to interactions, unless there's something already established that you want to work off of. So if I wasn't already using open, I would use that. But since I am not, I'm going to add a tag, and let's just call it unlock. And what we'll do then, now that we have that tag, is we can go into the blueprint for the door, and we'll go ahead and mess with the interface. So every interactable is going to implement this BPI interactable interface, and this is just going to give you all the variable or all the base functions and events that you're going to want to implement onto anything that's going to be interactable. So what you'll do is you'll start with get interact options. This list, regardless of whether or not you have only one interact or multiple interacts, will need to have something put into it. The door currently has open and destroy because open is used for open and close, and destroy is used for when you're kicking it. The lock itself, if I go into that blueprint, is a child of the door, or not a child of the door. It is a blueprint component that can be put onto doors or chests, for example, and that has its own interact that takes care of offering when you can and cannot lockpick. Now, this could be built onto the lock, um, but we're going to build it onto the door because really the lock can take place on other objects, but the door we only really want that to be the thing that can be opened up from the inside because the lock might be on a chest or something. So what we're going to do is add in that new option, unlock. Then we will need to expand our gameplay switch to be able to handle a check for finding out whether or not we can or cannot unlock something. And what it will do is if the lock is valid, Actually, not even is valid because it's going to be built onto the door. We're just going to say is locked. And we can rip this part at least a little bit from the can kick function. We're going to use this to find out if we are on the back side of the door. But instead of having it check to see if we're in front, we'll just set it to do or -200. I did check these values earlier, so that is one thing I do know. And if both of these are true, actually we don't even need to set a branch, we can just do set can interact. Now, if the door is locked and we're on the back side of the door, we will do this. But I'm not super happy with that. Because what if I want to lock it again as well? So we're just going to get rid of that part and say that. So this is going to check to see if we're on the back side of the door. And you should be able to see, actually not yet. Now we're going to implement the interaction type. This gets whether it's a press, a repeated tap, a hold, any of those options. So this is going to be a press. So we'll add unlock, drag that down, reroute, and set the interaction type to press. So once you press it, it will just do the thing. Then you'll set your display message. Now it is, it may seem time consuming to do now, but you're saving yourself a ton of time by having this tag, by having these switches and by using gameplay tags. You're not having to build a million unique blueprints for each different type of component. A lot of interaction systems you're going to see online, there's one interaction per blueprint, and then you have a blueprint that has a million components in it. This really, it allows you to handle a lot more case scenarios, and honestly, in just a much more efficient manner. But that's enough chit chat for me. So now we're gonna set action text. This is gonna be the text that actually gets displayed to your screen. Select. We're doing this so that way we can say that we're gonna lock it or that we're gonna unlock it. So, boom, boom. Lock and unlock. Now we don't have to do anything with the gameplay percentage because that only applies to tap and press interacts unless you want to. I mean, you can always have this be set between 0 and 1. Say if you want to have a little animation of the lock switching itself, it could output something here just that way. There's an actual percentage of it changing. Not how I would choose to do it, but you can use it for multiple things. And finally, we will go to the add interact event, or on interact event, sorry. And add unlock. So then do a branch. Actually, even better than a branch, we'll do a flip-flop. We'll whip out everything. We'll look, I'm gonna look like a doofus here. Actually, no, I can't do a flip-flop. I forgot it doesn't take an input. We'll do a branch. And I suppose I could have done a select too, but you know, we're having fun with it. We're gonna do it a million different ways. Now, if is locked is false, we're gonna set is locked to true, and vice versa the other way. So now what we should be able to see, if we go in here, it's not working. Let's find out why it's not working. Something tells me maybe my math is wrong. Oh, shoot. Yep. Because negative 200 is less than 100. And now it's true. I never claimed to be a mathematician, I just know a thing or two about how to code. Hmm. And I got this part backwards too. I'm having quite the night. There we go. So now I can lock it, unlock it, open it, close it, lockpick it. There you go. I almost managed to do it and not look like a doofus. But that is what it looks like to implement a new interaction onto an object, and that is how everything's set up. So feel free to poke around all my different examples here. I'll just run through them really quick. So of course we have the door. We'll lockpick that because kicking it is a QTE, and you've already seen that with other stuff. So you'll open the door. All right, maybe my math's wrong with where to lock it. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. It's a good example though. We'll figure it out with time. Anyways, though, now we'll go down to here, and this is an example of a triggerable QTE. If I just let it fail, this automatically triggered. I didn't have to press anything. I can stop it from failing just because it will reload the level to simulate, say one of those lost states you'd see in like a God of War where you get crushed and die. Now that it's complete, now that the QT is complete, now it won't re-trigger. And we can talk to this guy, and I can't move around or look around. And there's a little bit of a dialogue system here. But also included in here, you may have seen the little print string at the start. Press C to crouch. Implemented the exact same way as I did everything on the door. There is a pickpocket. I don't have an inventory, so that just has a little thing that prints off. Um, and there is an assassinate. And yeah, that is my modular interaction system. Ignoring my own idiocracy. I hope that you can see exactly what this is and that you have a million ideas right now of things that you want to implement. I've already thought of, like I was talking about earlier, God of War QTEs, where you can have it switch between, like 30 different buttons. So, that you play in the game, you start spamming square, and then all of a sudden it has a trigger on it. Now it wants you to spam triangle. Or doors, you can kick them down, or you can lock them or open them. What if you could slowly peek them, like in Ready or Not? Um, Characters, they do stuff besides talk and die and get stolen from, but I can't think of it right now, but I'm sure you guys will. So yeah, hope you have fun with it. Hope you all like it. If you have any problems or recommendations, feel free to comment them or send them to me any way you know how, whether it's on GitHub or YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever.